Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? I apologize. I am on my phone, my computer, and Bree's computer does not want to cooperate today. So you'll see me looking off to the side a little bit to see comments, stuff like that. I'm a little behind right now with trying to catch up to all this stuff. So uh, if you guys can hear me, please, hey Carson, send me a comment below who you are, where you're from, just so I know you guys can hear me and all that fun stuff as I figure out this computer. Hey Riley, how are you? The weather is about 40 degrees wet, but the neighbor's actually shelling his corn today. I haven't really looked to see if he's cutting ruts or not, but um, oh, Marion County, wow, you're Carson, you're literally like right next to me, so that's pretty cool to have somebody pretty close here. York, Pennsylvania, nice, nice. Um, Good. Okay. Looks like you guys can hear me. You guys can see what I got going on here. Like I said, I'm going to kind of watch the computer a little bit if I need to type anything back or anything like that for you guys from there. But the reason I wanted to do this live stream was just kind of catch you guys up on the planner. We've had kind of a few things going on all over the place. Shred, shoot, swing. I like that name. That's pretty cool. Minnesota. Riley, are you a fan of the Minnesota Millennial Farmer? Zach, I actually got the pleasure to meet him. He's a pretty cool guy from that standpoint. So, but anyway, to the planner talk. We've had kind of a few things going around. We were obviously, if you guys been watching, we were looking at a 1770 that was kind of wore out a little bit. For they wanted 45,000 to. I need to get a picture of it, but actually my neighbor, his 1780, from that standpoint, it's a 1223 split with dual liquid, so liquid on seed, liquid 2x2. I just don't know much about the 1780s. I know they were popular in the 1611 splits and the was it the 815 splits, but I did not know much about the 1223s. It doesn't look easy to work on by any means. It looks like it can be actually a pain in the butt to work on, especially where the pump is. Having two liquids, so it's got three tanks on it. Um, it does need some work. It has a wheel bearing out on the main frame. It needs all the closing wheels, need bearings, the actual, if you want to say the frame for the closing wheel that attaches to the row unit. Those are back. Got a lot of side to side play in them, so they need some work there. So the machine does need some attention. It's not fully ready to go to the field by any means of that standpoint. But I get a lot of comments that for guys and again going back to my story that I have to work full time outside of farming to pay for a lot of this stuff. So a lot of guys, well, you can work on that on your own. Yeah, I would love to work on my own. I wish I had a nice big shop, and well, I shouldn't even say it's hot, but even a shop really to work on stuff. I don't, and I have to work to really pay for this. So for me, the $100 an hour job is me actually going to work and having the dealer really take care of a lot of stuff that I need taken care of to be ready for spring. Usually, I try to go to work at 5:30 and I get home at 4. Now, when farming comes into play, it's a different story. But now it's getting dark at this time right now, so you have an hour of sunlight that I can do that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, neighbor's cutting our his corn right now too. So there's a lot of guys still finishing up around here. There's a lot of beans out here still. That's kind of scary for me, but all our crops are off. So praise the Lord and that. So yeah, we're kind of. I haven't heard back from the dealer in Indiana on the 1770 no till, but like I said, it's pretty base. It's wore out, needs a little work. So we're kind of in between. I just think, I shot them an offer of 30,000 when they were wanting 44.5, I believe. I felt that was a fair offer, especially if you watched the last video where we kind of looked at some auction prices. I think that was a very fair offer. Now, will they bite on it? Probably not. Well, they offered me the $5,000 credit, which a lot of you guys have pinpointed it that 2,500 of that is kind of their money anyway that they're going to make. So it's a wash, I guess, at that point. For me, it needs to be about $10,000 credit. In that $35,000 range, I think you got a decent planter there in an '05 because I believe it was dual liquid. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but I believe it was dual liquid. Not that we have to have that, but that's nice, for what we do, just to have that option from that standpoint. But I haven't heard back from them. I've kind of been in talks today on the 1780, kind of reminded the gentleman that had a wheel bearing out, and he didn't even know that. So you got to be careful on your salesman if you're ever dealing with them, that they know what's going on with these things, because sometimes they just look, see if it's got nice paint, and doesn't match up from that standpoint. So I did have to remind him it needs a little bit of work. The advantage that I do have is I know what they traded it in for. I know what the trade price was. I know, with being good friends with my neighbor, he gave me the details of what it all needs, and I got to look at it. I didn't take the camera to look at it just for our privacy from him. He is a kind of a private guy, so I did not take the camera. I will try to get a picture of the planter, or maybe I can go back there on my time. Just kind of give him a heads up. But yeah, just out of respect to him, I did not take the camera with me to look at that planter. So, but yeah, so trade price was 20,000 for this. Was it being Cordova? Would you give with the gleaner? Well, if we bought the gleaner, it was going to be a 30-foot head and an 8-row corn head, but we did not end up buying that machine. Just wasn't right in the pencil in the pocketbook. But that's what it would have been. It would have been a 30-foot with a 8-row corn head. But trade price on the 1780 that my neighbor traded it in for was 20,000. So they have it listed at 23, needing some work. Now the advantage I have, like I said, is I know what the trade price was. So theoretically, I think, offer them 21,000. They don't have to come move it. The dealer is probably about an hour away, and literally the planter is sitting 5 minutes from me. So let them make $1,000. That gives me some money to put into the planter, and they don't have to move it. So that's a win for them to make $1,000 and not have to do a thing. Why would you not? I feel the 23,000 is fair. Don't get me wrong. I feel it is fair. But the way this market is, with what, $3.50 corn, $9 beans, coming out of the field. Well, really no, 7. I think I sold for 8. Some beans right out of the field at what, 8.50, and then one day it crashed to 7.75. So, even when you're talking 20,000 to 25,000 dollars, when you look in payments and you look at that stuff, it's still a large amount of money that you got to square off when you're talking your acreage and what you're looking for 2019 inputs. I just added 40 acres that I just rented, so we're getting close to about 750 acres that we farm. Remember, I do farm with a partner in this. We're both first generation farmers, so we're basically, what we do is we both have land, and we kind of split equipment costs with each other. Now, there is certain things that he owns that I use. There's certain things that I own that he uses, but we got to get a partnership in that. So that helps us get a little bit bigger equipment and pay for a little bit more in the prices that we need to be, because we both work outside jobs, so we have to do this stuff fast and efficiently. That is the name of the game for us. Dealer has to make some money. Yeah, no, I agree. Dealer has to make some money. Dealer has to make some money. I agree with you 100% in that. But I can't run his business too. So if the deal ain't right, the deal ain't right. That's what my big thing in this is. I'm not a impulse buyer. I'm not a emotional buyer. Just like with the Gleaner series, that was a 3 to 4 series where at the end of the day, I couldn't pencil it out. I felt that was a very fair price of what they were wanting for the machine, but I just couldn't pencil it out. Same for this machine. I understand they got to make money, but I can't run their business. I got to run mine. So I got to pencil out what I can do with it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But for them to make $1,000 and not do anything, just simply own it for a few days. To me, the way dealers are liquidating off auction time and all these places, really, when you look at auction time, actually, let's go back. Let's rewind a little bit to this point. There was a sale 2 weeks ago, I believe. It was a Ritchie Brothers sale, and it was actually at Schmidt Machine. Um, I got to think about this. And I apologize if I stop. I'm trying to read your comments on the screen here. But it was at Schmidt Machine in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. And I can't remember who it was. Carson, maybe it was you, but you're from Marion, so you know where this place is at. But there were some Gleaner combines, S67s, that they were wanting $178,000 for, in that range. And I think these machines barely brought 100. So dealers right now, they need to take whatever they can get. If they can flip for a quick thousand, that's a win. That's a win, especially when we're talking 350 corn. We're talking, $9 beans, whatever beans are right now. You have to take the quick wins in this market because there's not a lot of guys looking to trade. The guys that are looking to trade are the ones that are trying to, take for tax purposes. Other than that, a lot of guys my size are not looking to trade. There's not a lot of demand out there right now for a 6-row planter. There's not a lot of demand. There's 12-row planters everywhere, everywhere. I agree. Auction's the way to buy equipment, but make sure you do your homework on it because you can really turn into an impulse buyer in that auction. So don't think emotionally with it. There's always more out there, but the market right now is flooded with 12-row planters. It's almost like it's flooded with combines. Also, there's every sale you look at has combines. It has a planter. Has something else. So that's why I'm saying I feel the 21,000 is a fair offer. It's $1,000 for them. Now they don't know that I know what the trade price is. I have to think if they're smart, they know because he's my neighbor. He actually before I started farming farmed the ground that I farm now. I've seen that planter run. I know what it can do. So that's to my advantage. But if they're smart, they have to know that I know what that planter was traded for. So to flip for a quick thousand, to not let it sit on your area for the risk. To me, you take the quick thousand. But that's just my kind of business mind, business thinking in the situation. I wouldn't want, there's some dealers liquidate. I seen a planter on auction time that was, they listed it as it sat on our lot for 6 years. I think it was a 12 row, 7,000. And I mean, they've lost money all over the place on that planter. Now they're going to liquidate it for next to nothing. Um, why not a 7,000? We had a 7,000. That was actually the original planter I bought was a 7,000 6 row. It was a good planter. I got the opportunity to upgrade to that 7,200 that we have now that just we recently sold. It's a good planter. I think the 7,000, 7,200s are great planters. This move right here lets us expand a little bit more in our operation on getting to planting in a timely way. Now, we could get a 7,000 12 row. There's really not a lot of 7,000s that are in good shape around here anymore. If I go to a dealer lot, I'm going to have to put a lot of time and effort into it. And like I said, with me working full time, I just don't have the time aspect of it to even dedicate 2 hours every night. It's just with the way I work schedule right now in manufacturing, I'm beat up when I get home. So that's why I plan a lot of vacation around spring and fall to get that stuff. Yeah, I did see JD Equipment got bought out. I mean that to think of a conglomerate getting bought out by another conglomerate is kind of wild to think about. But yeah, that was a major acquisition. What do they have? They got is it 10 stores, 12 stores, something like that. That was a big acquisition there. So I would hate to say there's not going to be many small dealers anymore. We have Farmers Equipment that's a case dealer in our area that's like 3 stores, and I imagine probably the next couple of years they'll get swallowed up by somebody. It's just the nature that we're in right now. But yeah, I did see that. But yeah, but a 7,000, like I said, if you got the time and the effort, they're good planners. Anything will be a good planner if you put the time and effort into it. So yes, I agree. Manufacturers want larger dealers, and that's also another reason why we went to Versatile. When you think of that Versatile tractor, that Versatile, even when you think of Michael S, these guys, Mike comes and visits us quite often. Even if I didn't have the YouTube channel, Mike would still come see us because he's that kind of guy. Versatile is that kind of brand. Um, they're building around smaller guys like me, and their product works for us. It's not, like I said, it's not fancy like a John Deere if you want to look into an IVT transmission and all that fun stuff, but we've got the support from Versatile that I don't know from Case at John Deere, the Massey, the bigger conglomerates, would they care about a 700 acre farmer? I don't know. But I did find Versatile does. So the Rossel Mash Combine, I don't know. That thing's got a lot to prove to me. That is obviously, that's a Russian combine painted Versatile. So I think it's good in small grain. From what I've heard of our Versatile dealer, kind of struggles in corn. Now I think that was the RT 490. Now I know they've released a new combine from there that I think Mike Less ran. If you guys seen that video, he ran the new version that does extremely well in grains in North America. So I mean, if somebody offered one to run, heck yeah, I'd try it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think $1,000 a fair offer. The trade deal from my neighbor was 5 days ago. So to flip it for $1,000, not even touch the thing, to me, you take it. But that's, like I said, deal ain't right. Deal ain't right. They got to make that judgment call. And maybe we can work in there that we can have them fix it so they can make some more money off me that way. Yeah, RT 590. That's what it was. Say hi, Bree. Does everybody see Bree in the background? You're ruining my video. You're talking too loud. So, anyways, Bree ruined my concentration here. I apologize. I only got 16% on my phone, so I'm going to run it as long as I can. So if the live stream randomly drops, my phone died. So be prepared for that. Excuse me. I run it to 1770. I would love to have a 1770 12 row. We're trying. Like I said, if I can find a good one in the area, I'd buy one. But like I said, price has got to be right. Kinsey planters. Yes, narrow transport. That I couldn't decide if it was no till or narrow transport. Yes, I want a narrow transport. Kinsey planters. If there's a dealer close to me, I'd look at a Kinsey. I just don't have I guess a close dealer to me is probably an hour and a half away, where Deere's 40 minutes away. So, Kinsey, John Deere, there's that battle back in the day. They are the same planter. They have a lot of similarities to each other. Were they the same planter, just different colors? I'll let you judge that one. I've never really been around a Kinsey, especially the newer ones. I'm sure everybody makes a good planter. Don't get me wrong. Everybody gets a good planter out there. I just haven't been around one enough, and there's not a dealer close to me that I feel is a good quality dealer on the service side for me to make that leap, I guess. So that's why John Deere, I got two big dealers in the area to me. So yeah, non-9 NT would be cheaper. Yeah, having the 6 rows in the back, or was the 8 rows, 6 rows, 4 rows, whatever it is. I think the NT's got 6 rows in the back, or is it 4 rows? I can't remember. Yeah, the pre-NTs do cheaper if you're looking at like 98 through 02. Yes, you are correct in that one. I see there's another comment flying around in here. I can't see where it's at. My opinion, John does the best player in the market, but the dealer makes it. That's absolutely true. A lot of New Holland dealers are Kinsey dealers. I don't know if it's just to match the paint or what it is, but that is true. John Deere's hard to beat. Like I said, we love that drill. I have no plans to trade that drill off. We are going to keep both. If we get the 1780, we are going to keep both. Like I said, the 1780 is really to get us into no-till corn because it's fully set up for that. But it'll also give us the option to do 15-inch beans if we need to, or if we're behind. We can really get into some test trials on 7.5, 15, even 15-inch corn. We've thrown that one around a little bit, especially on the partners got some hog barns with hog manure, so we've thrown around the idea of 15-inch corn trial. So I do not have any plans for livestock. Now, just with my work schedule, I just can't. When Bree and I built a house one day, we'd like to have miniature donkeys, if that counts. But That I don't have any plans. And now the my partner, he does have livestock. He's got two hog barns. So I do, I'm around it. I'm just not mine. How about that? Um, don't want to plant beans on 30s. Is that Paulson? Is that you telling me I don't want to do that, or is that a question that we don't want to? Um, I mean, that could be one of our trials. I mean, obviously with the 1780, and we can obviously do that. We try to do something different every year and a little bit of a plot just to see. But we have the big one we've thrown around is the 15-inch corn. And that 1780 would give us that capability, especially it does have the Keaton seed firmers on all the rows. Just the split rows are not plumbed in for on seed, but it does have that capability where we could really get wild if we wanted to. I didn't trade it in. I sold it to a neighbor. I sold it for $8,500. It was a John Deere 7200 conservation, on seed liquid, full no till. We had John Deere go through it pretty much every year, so we sold it for $8,500. I felt that was a fair deal, and it was also to a neighbor that I thought that was a fair deal, but he was also getting a good deal in it. So, but yeah, we sold it for $8,500. You guys are moving too quick on me here. Um, I used to do a lot of 15s when I was working for a larger farmer. And then when I finally got my own equipment, the 750 drill was the easiest on 7.5 inch rows. Um, I see a lot of guys. Paulson, where are you from? I know a lot of guys north do 30s, like Minnesota, the Dakotas, I think a little bit into Michigan. There's a one guy in our area that does 30s, and they look good this year, but I just don't know. Um, I don't know anybody that does it, but like I said, we can trial it. I have no problem trialing it. I know there's a local neighbor to me that I think he's going to get a YouTube channel that he does a lot of trials. I know he did like a 60 or 55, 60,000 population trial this year. So I'm excited if he does decide to do it that we can do some videos together in this. The 1780 is a John Deere. Planter does a better, yes. Planter does a job at placement. Drill does better, or is a controlled drop. But I agree with that. But this year, so the John Deere 750 on my home farm did 72 bushel the acre. So for a controlled drop, $13,000 drill, it did extremely well this year. So I can't complain about it. But yes, I agree. A planter will do a much better job. Southern Indiana, okay. Yeah, I think 30s are coming back. I think they're coming back in popularity just for the cost savings you can get from them. But maybe that's something I need to trial this year. Maybe that's something we'll look into. I knew Michigan did a lot of them. I know Michigan does, and I know when you get into the Dakotas and Minnesota, there's a lot of them. I know the Minnesota Millennial Farmer Zach, he does them. Um, but when you got 100, man, I'd love to see 100 bushel on the acre soybeans. 72 was a personal record for me this year. So, um, yeah, I don't know. It's something worth trialing. That's all I can say on that. But the other planter we talked about was a white. I just don't have a white dealer in the area. That's for sure. 22-inch corn. There is one gentleman in the area that does 22-inch corn. White planters I've heard is always good. I just don't, like I said, we don't have a dealer in their area to support it. So 30-inch feasibility to make. Gotcha. I think maybe maybe you guys will talk me into trialing it this year. Maybe we'll do a, test plot of 7.5 inch, 15-inch, 30-inch, and then on the corn we can do 30-inch corn and 15-inch corn and just trial it and see what we get. I'm not opposed to anything. Um, anybody I've talked to that's had them, they said they're good planners. I just like I said that this is one of them things that comes down to dealer support, especially not knowing anything about them. That's my backbone here. Just a warning, my phone is flashing at me as a low battery. I got 7%, so be prepared if this thing just cuts. That's what happens. So let me say thank you to all you guys that did join tonight. It's been fun to talk to you guys. Maybe we need to do this a little more often. Live streams are not something I do very often, but maybe we need to do them a little bit more, especially through the winter that I don't have a lot of content because I don't have this big beautiful farm out here that I can go look at the equipment and All my equipment's kind of scattered all over the place. So, is this something, maybe we do a weekly, bi-weekly? We can talk about auction prices. We can talk about all this stuff that is selling. I don't know. You guys hit me on what you guys want to talk about. If this is something we want to do a little bit more often, or you would put starter, or just we we've always put liquid starter on just with the clay soils we have here. We've done the trials at least in our area, our soils, it works better. But we are moving more towards no-till and the cover crops. That is what I'm really after: liquid with no-till and the cover crops. That's the way you're really going to see me evolve. But right now, that I just don't believe that 6 or 7200 for some of the heavier soil, especially when we're talking hog manure and stuff like that, has the weight to do what I need it to do. This has cast iron closing wheels on it versus the standard rubber wheels. I think I'd like to eventually get at least a spiked wheel and a cast closing wheel on there. But definitely the cast is better than the rubber wheels in that. Um, yeah, so maybe we can plan on maybe Fridays become our live stream day. We can look at auction prices. We can look at what you guys want to take, and I'm open to everything. But sound like the NRC. Yeah, no. I agree with you on that. The Delta Force would be cool. I like that. The Delta Force would be, that's a lot of money, though. That's a lot of money to pencil out. Cover crops, yes. So I was not a firm believer a couple years ago, and I'm still not sold on it. What I'm sold on is the planting conditions that I planted into this year. The planting conditions were phenomenal. Now, maybe it was a great year. That's why we want to do trials. I want to see trials 3 to 4 years in to prove this theory out. And Brazil, that's cool. Thiago, hey man, I appreciate you tuning in from that far away. That's pretty cool. But the thing I can say about cover crops, especially we just did ryegrass. Planting conditions were fantastic, and that is that you get one shot to really do this right in the planting world. Planting beans, corn, whatever it is, and planting into that ryegrass this year was probably the best of my 10 years of farting around in this. Was the best conditions I've ever planted. So I'm not saying it's every year like that. I've done 1 year. And it worked out really well for me. But like I said, I need to do 2 to 3 years to make. 1 year is not a data point. 2 to 3 years, 4 years, you can set a trend on, yeah, this works and this is how I'm going to do it. But I'm not endorsing cover crops. I'm not doing anything like that. What I'm saying is, for me, the test trials we did this year worked out very well. Now, overall, it was a good year for cover crops and that stuff. But I think it's something additionally I want to look to getting the box on the Kong Skill vertical tillage because I'd like to run that in the fall. And that would be, we'd spread it right there. I agree that that would be a fun job to do. Um, Strip to, yeah. So I've seen his channel. I haven't subscribed yet. I need to subscribe to it. But yeah, he. I actually watched a couple of them on the strip till. He, you're right. He is definitely a character. That is for sure. But no, this spring we'll definitely do more cover trials in it. We only did one field this year in cover crop trials just to prove out more theories in it, and partly because once we got our crops off this year in October, mid-October, it rained every day. It's still, like I said, guys are still trying to get crops off. So I didn't even get to run the vertical tillage unit. So I'm a little sad I didn't get to get more cover crops out to do more trials with it, but um, that's the way it is, I guess. Strip till, a lot of guys have tried strip till in this area and have went away from it. And I don't know if that's if they did it wrong. I guess I don't have enough research in the back of my mind to say what happened there. It's far for me to get a strip bar and fertilizer, all that. I mean, right now financially I wouldn't be able to do it, but um, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. There's a lot of guys in this area that went away from it. And maybe they did it wrong. I don't know. Really, wow, that's pretty cool. 50. Wow, that pencil out real quick. Then I hope they take it too on the 1780. I hope it does. Like I said, we've just kind of had small talk here. We played phone tag today, so we didn't really get to talk on the 1780 with the salesman. So I'll keep you guys in the loop as that one goes. I'll try to do a little more quick videos on what the update with it is, but. If you guys are going to be at anybody's going to be at the Ohio State Michigan State game in Columbus tomorrow, I will be there. So definitely look for Bree and I in this. Um, that's a normal. I get guys driving in my field every year. I got one field that's got a curve on it, and every year it doesn't fail that somebody flies right into it. And the neighbor had a water line blow. Ooh, yeah, that ain't no good. That is definitely not any good. Getting a water line blown in your field. Definitely don't want that to happen. Um, okay, phone's got 2%, so I'm gonna cut it. We're right at a half hour. I got Bree and I are gonna go hang out with some friends tonight. We're gonna go play a little Mario Kart as a throwback for all you young guys. If you've never played Mario Kart, go play Mario Kart. It's the best game ever. Um, that just shows my age a little bit. Nah, don't say that. Don't say that. I expect that's going to happen. The Michigan State's going to beat them, but don't say that yet. Don't be surprised in my Buckeyes. They're a young team, but I expect. Yeah, IO. There you go, Carson. I expect Michigan State is a stronger team. That's just me being honest. I think they're a stronger team with Tom Izzo. Ohio State's a very young team right now, and they haven't run into a real strong team. I mean, Syracuse beat them, and Syracuse isn't a strong team. That Syracuse is an average team. So, with that, if you'll be in the Columbus area, come find Bree and I. I will keep you guys updated on the 1780. I will be watching. Maybe we'll do a few live streams on Friday evenings once I get off work, and we'll talk. We'll talk about what the farming world's doing. Give you a run for money with Mario Kart. I I got to get back into it. We just started getting into it. I'm old, but we got the old Wii playing it, man. I'd like to find the N64 and play it again. So um, I don't know. Michigan's tough. They're tough. I watched them the other day, but we'll see. We'll see how all that shakes out. So I got 1%. So see you guys. Thank you for joining tonight. It's been fun. I appreciate all you guys that joined in. Um, and we will continue. Maybe we'll, like I said, maybe we'll get some more auction prices from auctions that went off this week, and we'll kind of look and see what the planter market's doing. And maybe if there's more pieces of equipment you guys want to talk about, we'll look at those, and I can give you my opinion on what that market is, at least in this area, is doing. So with that, see you guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for subscribing. For a small guy like me, it means the world to share this story with you guys, but to also interact with you guys. I think that's a great way that the farming community can share the best practices with each other. So, thank you. Go Buckeyes.